Welcome to this videocast from the GSMA Inclusive Tech Lab, a testing ground for transformative digital solutions.
Hello, thank you for joining us. My name is Bart-Jan and I'm the Director of the GSMA Inclusive Tech Lab. I am here with my colleague Francesco Pasti, our Senior Manager of Inclusive FinTech. The GSMA Inclusive Tech Lab is a GSMA-led industry initiative that takes a hands-on approach to research, testing and development of the inclusive technologies of the future. The lab works on a range of areas that drive inclusion, including the openness and interoperability of payment systems, service accessibility for women and vulnerable user populations, and biometrics to provide underserved people with a digital identity. Today, we will be discussing APIs for financial services, which we believe are key for ecosystem development, and how mobile money providers are moving towards offering seamless API integrations. I'd like to hand over to my colleague Francesco Pasti.
Thank you, Bart-Jan. Mobile money continues growing exponentially across developing markets. As of December 2019, the industry counts over 1 billion registered mobile money accounts and processes $9.1 billion on a daily basis. What is interesting compared to a few years ago is the growth of digital transactions compared to cash in and cash outs. At 57% of the total, digital transactions now represent the majority of mobile money transactions. And within this context, the seamless integration of third parties with mobile money platforms is a key catalyst to achieving wider access to critical products by the underserved. Third parties' ability to integrate with mobile money platforms is therefore a first and necessary step to achieving the payments as a platform model, which is one of the main aspects of the GSMA's vision for the future of the mobile money industry. The Inclusive Tech Lab aims therefore to provide thought leadership on technology-focused research. And it is in this context that API have been a key focus area for the GSMA's M4D portfolio of programs, including via the development of the GSMA Mobile Money API. The results presented today are based on 37 survey responses for mobile money providers on a global base covering over 260 million accounts. And with this report, we aim to both understand the main industry trends in terms of third-party integration, including API design, commercial approach, documentation and communication, testing, as well as security onboarding, but also recommend a set of best practices based on observations for the wider financial and payment industry. This will be kind of the first insight piece covering APIs, and the GSMA Mobile Money team will also continue providing insights and best practices throughout the year on topics that are relative to the Tech Lab and disseminate findings to the. As I mentioned earlier, mobile money is evolving. If 10 years ago, the industry was considered as a value-added service that was reducing churn and driving loyalty, now the industry as a whole is driving billions of revenues, which in some cases represent up to 25–30% of total operator revenue. 10 years ago, P2P was practically the only use case. Now, on a global base, if we see the growth of transactions, bank to wallet and wallet to bank has been the fastest growing use case globally. If we look at sub-Saharan Africa, bill payments and bulk disbursements are the fastest growing use case, and in Asia it is e-commerce. And at the global level, merchant payments still represents one of the biggest untapped opportunities. Ecosystem development therefore remains a top priority for mobile money providers, with 95% of providers considering third-party integration as a business priority. In fact, the past few years have seen a very strong ecosystem growth. If we take the delta between 2017 and 2018, we see that the average mobile money provider has integrated with an increasing number of third parties. And this is especially for bill payments and bulk disbursements. So if you look at 2017, the average mobile money provider had 58 bill payments integrated companies and 173 organizations for B2P disbursements. Fast forward just a year, and companies providing bill payments have almost doubled to 102. And the same has happened for B2P disbursements, with 237 companies on average integrated with every mobile money provider. This ecosystem growth was supported by mobile money providers offering a wide range of payment APIs-enabled use case. We see that 51% of operators have integrated or implemented between 11 to 15 use cases, and 1 out of 4 operators has implemented between 16 to 20 use cases. Top API use cases include e-commerce, bill payments, disbursements, and merchant payments. On the other hand, there are still some transactions that have not broadly developed. This is mainly refunds and reversal, and this is mostly due to multiple players being involved in the value chain. In addition, operators have the opportunity to develop non-payment APIs. Reconciliation of payments is important, but only 65% of providers have it in place. Equally, reporting for business analytics is also increasingly important, but only 3 out of 10 providers are implementing this. When we look at the commercial models that support the growing number of third parties, we see that mobile money providers typically do not charge onboarding fees, and they generate revenue through transaction fees. Therefore, looking ahead, offering tier pricing could further boost growth. For those providers who open their APIs, we see benefits in terms of ecosystem partners, increase in transactions, and revenues per users. However, less than a third of responses claim to open APIs. As you can see on the left-hand side, 32% have responded that have an open, publicly available API specification. And furthermore, as you can see on the right-hand side, the majority of APIs are proprietary, signaling high fragmentation between players, and also negatively impacting the length of integration. As an example, we see that over a third of providers will take more than a month to integrate a new use case. To accelerate their ecosystem growth and third-party integration, there are a number of things that we believe mobile money providers should consider. First is offering pay bill accounts without any development support required. We know that this can drive strong growth, but only 22% of deployments have reported using it, offering this service. Integration tools such as SDK, open source repository, and widgets can also ease and accelerate third-party integration. While these are provided by the majority of providers, as you can see 56%, we still see an opportunity to grow this further. In addition, providers should also review the integration process to ensure best practices around the following areas are implemented. The first is around adopting an existing framework when developing APIs. This is done to optimize the developer onboarding process and experience and facilitate faster updates. Currently, we see that only 40% of respondents do not use an API framework. The second is around providing clear documentation and leveraging a developer portal when exposing APIs to third parties. Third is around exposing APIs through a single gateway. This has the beneficial benefits of improving security, analytic capabilities, and also reducing customer maintenance. Around ensuring key features such as the Swagger UI, test function for error codes, and postman collections are implemented in the test environment. If we look at the central figure, we see that 62% of providers have the Swagger UI features, but for other functionalities, this is much lower. 26% have postman collections, and 56% have test function for error codes. And again, these tools can help providers facilitate monitoring and make sure that our more kind of powerful tools and developer-friendly tools are in place. Last but not least, increasing the communication channels used for developer support can also significantly improve UX and speed of integration. So not only communicating via email, which is done by the whole sample group, but also increasing the number of channels such as calls, meetings and presence, chatbot and instant messaging, and developer portal. The GSMA Mobile Money API specification can help address some of these challenges by limiting fragmentation in the mobile money ecosystem and making it more harmonized. We've put a harmonized API across providers with a benefit of growing ecosystem growth, and specifically the GSMA Mobile Money API enables third parties to interact seamlessly with mobile money account, and is jointly designed by key stakeholders, including mobile money providers, platform vendors, third-party service providers, and industry partners, and is designed around a core set of use cases to represent almost the totality of mobile money transactions. So it goes from international transfers, bill payments, basic account information, merchant payments, both proximity and non-proximity, such as online, bulk transactions, cash in and cash out, as well as interoperability.
Wow, thanks Francesco. That's a lot of insights. Thank you very much for sharing your expertise with us. And to those listening, thank you for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this podcast and found it insightful. As the GSMA Inclusive Tech Lab, we will continue our work on API strategies for mobile money and how they enable ecosystem development. We see this as key for the growth and innovation in the mobile money industry, as well as for bringing meaningful services to underserved user groups. If you would like to learn more, or if you're interested in collaborating with the Inclusive Tech Lab, we would be really happy to hear from you. So please get in touch by emailing us at inclusivetechlab@gsma.com or visit our website at gsma.com/lab. See you next time.
Thank you for watching. For more insights from the GSMA Inclusive Tech Lab, visit www.gsma.com/lab.